Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Match Those Buttons, covering all things World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and today we're joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Doing good. Oh, we're also joined for the very first time by YouTuber extraordinaire MetaGoblin. How are you doing?
Hello.
Oh, man, we're so excited to have you on the show, man. Tried to get you on the show a while back, but we crisscrossed lines, you finally made it, so you're here now.
Yeah, that was definitely my bad.
It's all right. All right, so just here at the top of the show, I have a kind of a sad announcement to make, but he wanted me to let you all know because we've been having a lot of questions about it, but unfortunately, Ryan, aka Yip, is leaving the show, and tried to talk him out of it, but he's just not feeling it for the moment. Told him that his spot's always here, so maybe if you reach out to him, maybe he will come back. But for now, he is no longer part of the main cast, and we wish him farewell, and we're gonna miss him a ton. And yeah, we're just kind of sad. Cue sad music. But on to happier things. I want to remind everybody we do stream this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/BlazinBob. It's BLAZZINBOB. Usually Friday or Saturday. Fridays or Saturdays. Saturdays oftentimes when we have people from across the pond, like good MetaGoblin here. Sometimes we have to do that because our normal start time is way too late for them. Oh, so we're going to go through a couple reviews, and then we're going to do what we've been doing in WoW lately. Raid progress is almost nothing because it's just basically on farm, but we do have a little update. Then we're going to go through the news, and then at the end of the show, as always, with a new guest on the show, we're going to get to know them and get to know a little bit more about them. So that being said, I guess I'll take the first review, Mel. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, so it's titled Dungeon Finder is Awful. Love the podcast, but I am writing in to say that I quit retail at the introduction of Dungeon Finder. It made the world smaller and way more toxic than ever before. It removed the sense of community and the need to build friends lists of people you enjoyed playing with. If they bring it back again, I'm out. This isn't some mobile game. It's an MMO. Keep the auto-grouping functions as far away as possible. So he definitely has strong feelings on this. I think everybody has some pretty strong feelings on this. I'm still like 70-30 in favor of it. Might even be moving more to 60-40 in favor of it, but I'm still kind of in favor of it. I just don't want looking for raid. Like looking for dungeon, I still feel is okay because, especially if it comes in halfway through, because you can't get anybody to run anything with you later on. But MetaGoblin, what do you like? What's your thoughts on looking for dungeon?
Gonna open that can of worms right at the beginning, huh?
I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's in many ways it's a good thing, and in many ways it's a bad thing. I think it's like the first nail in the coffin for World of Warcraft not being an MMO anymore. But it's only one nail. I think like if Dungeon Finder was in Wrath, it wouldn't be the absolute end of the world. But like if they continue to make it worse and worse and worse by adding like raid finder in Cataclysm, then yeah, that would be definitely not a strong move. I think there's better ways to do it. I think they should just add that pre-made group finder that they have in retail. Just add that instead. I think everyone would just be happy with that. There you go, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I love it when you say Bob's your uncle. Yeah, see, it's just like everybody seems to frame it as like it's either one way or the other. It's awful or it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I feel like it's such a complicated topic, and there's so many things where I'd like, I like it, but I'd prefer it be your server only. Like I'm pretty like heavy on that, and I understand there's dead servers, and maybe you make it so a certain time hits and then it searches other servers, or I don't know. And then the whole like getting kicked, fast. I know there's lots of ways that they fix that later on in retail. I've heard about like if you 3Q, then you actually need a fourth vote to kick someone and things of that nature. Like, but it's still just kind of makes the world smaller. And yes, I know warlocks, like I know you can summon at the stone, but there's still two people that have to go do it. Like it's more complicated than everybody puts out, but it's been one of the most polarizing topics I've seen to date in classic WoW so far.
Yeah.
But
not a lot of people with willingness to change their opinions on this topic. So
they get some people get very angry when you even talk about it, but we've talked about it to a nauseating extent on this podcast over the last few weeks. And I'm sure MetaGoblin over here has talked about it and kind of wants to just like not talk about it now. So
that's true.
Let's just go ahead and move on to the next review.
All right. This is from RNDM. My Monday morning podcast. What's going on, Reloaded crew? This has been my go-to Monday morning podcast for about the last year or so. Played WoW up until Kata and then quit for like 8 years. Then found Classic was a thing and I fell right back into being quite the sweaty casual. Very much enjoy your banter and news updates, although Yip needs to take a chill pill once in a while. But what can we expect of a raid logging tank? Smiley face. Anyways, keep up the awesome podcast. Thank you.
Throwing some shots at Yip. See, you feel bad about that now, don't you? Because he's gone now. No, but I don't think that's why he left. So I wouldn't look too much into that. It's just,
He left because I'm so much better than him on the podcast. He just couldn't take it anymore. He was just like, man, Mel's just really outshining me. I should probably cut my losses.
That is probably the reason. But, if you want to ask him why he left, you got to reach out to him and ask him to come back. So, yeah, that's where it's at. But what has everybody been doing in WoW lately? What about you? Let's let our guest go first. What have you been doing? Looks like you've been doing prep.
I raid a couple of nights a week on a warlock. I've also recently been leveling a warrior to level 70, which has just been absolute pain and suffering. The only way I was able to even manage to not want to dive boredom was doing it with my friend Nick, dual leveling with a priest. So my plan with that is just to get it raid ready, basically. And I'm really massively regretting not playing warrior from launch because it's like the most fun I've had in World of Warcraft for a very long time.
It is a blast. And I'm bummed. I'm bummed because I play Lock 2. That's my main. And I'm getting really tired of just one button. And it's even worse now because you don't even do immolate. You just seriously curse and shadow bolt. And I'm wishing that I would have just, got sat over and over again through phase 1 and 2 on my warrior and then be sitting pretty now and raiding as a warrior. But I would have got sat a ton, just like everybody else. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the reason why I suffered also through playing Demonology Warlock for a couple of months, just because you actually have like an actual rotation like the Affliction Warlock. But I'm not allowed to spec that spec anymore. My raid leader gave me a slap on the wrist. So, yeah, back to one button Warlock again.
Well, I'm actually,
fun.
Yeah, so for what I've been doing this week, I've still been like, we had the season of our arena end, and on my warrior and my rogue, I had saved up all of my arena points and banked honor. So Tuesday morning was like Christmas for me. I bought like the full set of season 3 gear on both of the tunes, bought weapons, got it all enchanted, gemmed. Like I went from being, season 1 geared on the rogue to now season 3 geared. It's a huge jump. My warrior was okay geared, but he was he was still the prior season with like one piece of season 3. Now he's got everything. So I'm feeling pretty good on that. I've been just doing a lot of farming gold and stuff, getting ready because we're gonna need a lot of gold to start a wrath. So I've been really trying to get that worked up. And then speaking of warlock, I have to go back and do now my duty as affliction lock. Not next week, but the week after. I'll be going to affliction and probably be that for either the remainder of Sunwell or if somebody decides that they want to try it out. But basically, I had promised long ago that I would do it, till the end of the expansion, and so now I'm getting called on that card. So I'll be going back to affliction. So at least it won't be as boring. But I definitely won't be seeing those big numbers pop up. But it should be pretty cool. Mel, what about you?
Yeah, I've just been raiding. That's pretty much all I've done. We did do ZG, and I finally got my bear mount. Yep.
Oh, I did too. One. Yeah. Mel and I were the last main in each of the groups to get their bear. Other. Oh, okay. In your group?
Yeah. So luckily we switched groups prior to running it because I definitely would have beat you because I saw you roll the 7 and I rolled the 99. So
yeah, I was the only one that rolled.
Yeah. But that's about all I've been doing. It's been weird in raid because we have another holy priest right now. And just certain things that I don't usually have to worry about, like who I put my shield on or like when I'm doing things is like really throwing me off because I can't always put my shield on because they have weakened soul because somebody else put it on, but there was nobody else to put it on before. So that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're trying to figure out how we're going to get 7 healers, come Sunwell, because it's a big jump from 5 and all of a sudden it's need 7. And so is that guy somebody knows, or is he just a trial, or I don't even know. I haven't asked anybody. Or is it like somebody who switched mains? I don't even know.
I don't think so. I think it's somebody new, but I don't know.
See, this is where Yip always comes in handy with like, being an officer, he knows all of that info. We're gonna have to speculate a lot more now, or maybe Stoof will be in chat to let us know from time to time.
Give us the updates.
Yep. As far as raid progress, we had the best raid of the tier this last week. It was crazy too. It wasn't forced. Nobody was harping on anybody to hurry up, get there, get fast, It was just like a chill raid, and we just freaking flew through it. We did have to stop at Mother, but we did BT and up to Mother in well under 2 hours. So we would have had a for sure under 3 hour clear, but we had to stop at Mother because our rogue that needed the other glaive got banned, and he wasn't going to be back until an hour into Thursday's raid night. So we threw him a bone and stopped at Mother. But throughout the entire BT and Mount Hyjal, Tuesday and Thursday, we didn't have one wipe, I don't think. Not one on trash or...
We wiped on Mother.
Did we?
Twice.
Oh, yes. We wiped.
Because we tried to do it without shadow resist.
Yeah, we tried
the first
no
time
shadow.
It was closed, but the second time we didn't have heroism.
Yep.
And so...
I mean, both times were like under 20%, I think. Like, but just we were bad closed. RNG.
We technically didn't wipe because we reset, but we basically wiped.
Yeah. So, okay. So I guess, we had that one, but then we threw on our shadow res and destroyed it. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, because we didn't have it. We were waiting on the rogue to get unbanned. But yes, I mean, how much damage would he have really done, right? No, I'm kidding.
True. It was a rogue. So
I don't know, man. IADD, he's our other rogue. he's got both glaives. He's been destroying it. Like, I mean, like one of the top damage across the raid. And it's like so interesting to see how different Rogue with glaives is. It's just nuts. So
Yeah.
maybe once, if he gets that other one and gets the set bonus, maybe it'll be good. How does you said you raid you raid on your lock? How good does your guild do? Like, is it like a one night clear guild? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't clear. Well, I don't want to clear the whole of it in one night. Well, I think I'm in raid 2. I'm in like the B group. So I don't normally get invited to raid 1 groups, but I think they clear it all in one night. Sometimes.
We've only recently been clearing it in one night, and usually our one nights were like 5 minutes over, 20 minutes over. It's just like this would have been. We've only had one like under 3 hour clear night, and that was not last week, but the week before, maybe. I don't even know. But yeah, we're kind of sweaty casual. We're not like crazy good, but pretty good. We're happy with where we're at.
Sunwell when it launches, like straight away.
We are. I don't know how well we're going to do. We've kind of like, we were one of the guilds that, within a month had both killed Vash and KT, and a lot of guilds couldn't do that. But supposedly this is a lot harder, and we kind of a few weeks back kind of had to get our butt kicked by the officers a little bit because we'd become kind of complacent because BT and High Joe was so easy. So a little worried, but with last week's raid, I'm feeling a lot better because it really looks like we're coming together quite nicely. What about you?
They're saying that the stream's a little low.
Stream is?
A couple people.
Just so you know. I mean, it shows on mine that we're like in the green, like not quite
I'm just
yellow.
telling you what the viewers are saying.
I don't know what to do about it. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try and figure it out sometime later off of stream, but it looks good on this end. I'm not sure. Okay, so anything else on raid? Mel, did you have anything else?
I don't think so. It was pretty much the same stuff over and over again now, right? At this point, we're not really struggling with anything. Nobody stood on boxes. So that was a bonus. We didn't have to worry about that. They still remind us every single time because, if they don't, somebody's going to, for some reason, attract to a box and stand on top of it. Yeah, other than that, I feel like everything went smoothly.
Yeah, it was super chill and easy. Like, it was great. So why don't we move on to
time for the news.
All right, so first off in the news, the arena season has ended, and if you're listening to this on Monday, you still have one more day or 2 more days. No, one more. You have today to get your discounted season 3 gear for your current arena points. As of Tuesday, those points will get moved to honor at a rate of 1 to 10. So if you have 1K arena points, you'll get 10K honor. So be wary of that and definitely try and spend that while you can. What else? Oh, tier 6 tokens are now exchangeable for season 3 gear. So this is your tokens from Black Temple and Mount Hyjal. You can now change them in for season 3 gear. And I think this is a change that came in during Sunwell, but I don't think was at the start of Sunwell. Do you know, MetaGoblin?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it came in like sometime during Sunwell, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was in right off the bat. But you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, I've always liked how that kind of like bridge between being able to like gear up for PvE or PvP when you exclusively do either one. Like when that's like shortened is nice, because you don't want to like start at rock bottom, do you? Like, oh, I want to do PvP for a little bit. You don't want to start a complete rock bottom grind battlegrounds over and over again and suffer through that with no resilience gear for ages.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
freaking horrible. And at the start, I mean, thank
That
God they
makes it
changed it
unattainable,
later.
right?
Yeah.
Like you just won't do it. You're just going to be like, well, I just want PvP. That's fine.
Yep. Yep. But like the one argument I have heard from a lot of PvE people, which there's a lot more of them than PvP people, but heard them complain that now it's going to be harder for them to get their tier 6. But I mean, honestly, like those have been getting disenchanted constantly with us. I don't know about the majority of people, but I think this is only going to affect your alts and running in GDKPs is where it's going to be a really big thing. Like the price of those tier tokens will probably go up because PvPers will be running GDKPs just to PvP gear, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much easier it's going to be to get a token versus get the points you need to get the gear you want. I don't know.
Yeah. Now right before this, MetaGoblin, you were PvPing in Altric Valley, but is it something you really mess with all that much?
Used to be a very hardcore PvPer back in Mr. Pandaria days, but I've not really given it a massive spin in Classic, to be honest. But I think I might do, obviously, when Death Knights come out in the next expansion against my main class. But no, I'm just doing it at the minute to get PvP weapons.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can get some like tier 5 level weapons just by suffering through BGs for a few hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I worked up my rogue, I worked him up. It was right after the Road to Rag challenge. I came back to TBC. I'd kind of been raid logging and just doing hardcore. I came back, worked up my rogue to 70. I went from having the fist weapon you get from Ring of Blood to having both season 1 weapons, and like the jump from that was just absurd. It was going from like 60 some DPS to 90 some DPS. It's just like, okay, this is definitely different. Yeah, it's really cool to work up alts now and be able to get that PvP gear. And now you can get the Merciless gear for honor, and you can get the Gladiator gear for like next to nothing, which is really cool.
Young Pun in chat asked if the random battleground system, if we think it'll be out in pre-patch, if we think it would shake up the meta.
Oh, that's a good.
Or is that just like you queue for any battleground?
Yeah, and you would get a bonus for doing that. I forget what the bonus was. It might have been a daily. I think it's a daily that is the. This could be completely wrong.
Daily, then it reduces a little bit the second time. It's basically like Call to Arms, but constant.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that's in from the start, and yeah, it'll definitely get people to play different ones. But I mean, right now, like, it just makes the most sense to do Altric Valley over and over again because it's just such fast honor, whereas the other ones you just don't get a lot of bonus honor. That is something that will change in Wrath. Like the bonus honor is a lot different in all the different BGs, and you actually get more honor for. Now I don't know if this will be at the start, but I assume it will. But late in Wrath, they were giving you were getting bonus honor for guarding, say, in a Wrathy Basin, whereas right now it sucks to guard because you're not getting any kill points, but someone's got to guard or you're not going to win. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always stuck guarding as a rogue, and I'm just sitting there like, someone come attack. But yeah, there'll be a lot of changes in Wrath to how that worked, but we'll talk about that then. Something that they said that changed, but it didn't actually happen Tuesday when it was supposed to, but they said that they were going to change the arena points calculation. So it would reduce the disparity between the high ranks and the low ranks. So you basically get more arena points, and the lower you were, the more of a boost you would see. Now, I got exactly the amount that I was supposed to get, so it didn't happen Tuesday, but I hope it's something they do have fixed going into actual season 4. Oh, and then the last thing, so this is something that's been broken since, it's been broken all through the PTR, but for some reason, the items that now require rating, which is your boots, your bracers, and the ring, for some reason, their marks cost had been shot back up to the original mark cost. Like the boots were back up to 40 Eye of the Storm marks, and they're not supposed to be like that. So they actually came in and fixed that bug, and so that bug is gone now. Luckily, now you can get until it rolls over on Tuesday. You can get the season 3 off pieces for no marks at all and cheaper honor. So if you haven't gotten bracers or boots, I would get those now, because the season 4 ones will be the only ones you can get Tuesday, and they will be locked behind a arena rating. So if you don't have them yet, you definitely should probably grab them, just because you're gonna have to get something to get them later. And then, yeah, I think that's it for the arena stuff. And then season 4 starts Tuesday, so it'll be interesting. All right, next, what?
Good luck to everybody going in season 4.
Yep, it's gonna be a good time. Season 4 should be fun. They're adding gems now for our arena points, and unlike the BG ones, the honor ones are unique equipped, but the ones from the arena vendor are not. They're just like the same ones you buy for badges at the Isle of Quildanas.
Cool.
All right, so the next piece of news, and it's not really Classic related, but I wanted to talk about it because it looks kind of cool. Blizzard finally announced their mobile game, and it's a action strategy game in the Warcraft universe called Warcraft Arclight Rumble. Did you check this out, MetaGoblin?
Yeah, I did a little bit. I'm not really like moaning about it as much as other people. I mean, it's a mobile game and it exists. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I think it, potentially could bring a lot of new players to, new young players to World of Warcraft, potentially, which I think World of Warcraft needs badly. Because
we've got a lot of boomers.
Yeah, I don't think, like, if you want, like, World of Warcraft to kind of, keep surviving, we need some young faces on the block, I think. So maybe it'll help with that.
Yeah, like back in the day when we were all raiding, had 16-year-olds jumping in and all that stuff. I don't remember the last time I obviously came across somebody that was much younger.
I don't remember.
I guess I'm playing Classic though, so maybe that's.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I ever got in a group and heard a squeaker. Like, I've just not heard one in Classic. I'm fairly sure. So, and they were definitely prevalent. The first go are around, which was funny because all the good guilds just wouldn't let them in. Like, that's why you have all these guys that play Classic now, and they're like, yeah, I didn't get to do the content because I was 12. And it's just like they didn't let younger people in. Oh, man. But yeah, so this is a game. It kind of reminds me a little bit of not the Clash of Clans, but Clash Royale, where you're kind of like dropping characters down. You've got like they fight through stuff, but it definitely looks like it has its own take. I'm actually kind of interested in it and going to check it out, depending on how bad the pay to win mechanics are. We'll decide if I keep playing it, because usually those games are pretty pay to win. It's pretty atrocious. But Are you gonna play it at all? Think?
Well, you can absolutely guarantee that there's going to be some kind of mount reward for downloading the game or something.
Oh, you're
So
probably
everyone's gonna play
right.
it about-
Probably right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I remember having to play what's the MOBA. I had to play the MOBA to get skins in Overwatch. Heroes of the
Heroes of the
Storm.
Storm?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I remember just being like lost. Like, okay, I just need to play for 2 hours, right?
Yeah, I do not understand that game at all, but fine.
Yeah, I just don't know
I used to play
MOBAs.
quite a bit, actually. I thought it was one of the best MOBAs I'd ever played.
I've heard that
Really?
from a lot of
It's not
people.
very popular.
Mm-mm.
I just never got into MOBAs, so when I tried to play it, I'd be like, "What?" I mean, I could play it okay, like, but I had no idea what was actually going on. All right, well, but I think it's gonna be okay, and I'm kind of excited to check it out. I'll let you guys know whenever I try it. And the last bit of news is Sunwell Plateau coming out May 12th. So the patch days, Tuesday the 10th, and then May 12th, the Sunwell actually opens. Like, what do you think about the timeline? Because a lot of people keep saying that this was too fast. I always felt that like stages 3 and stages 3 and 4 were gonna be combined in time just because of the arena season. But do you think this is too quick?
I'd say like tiny bit too quick, but not immensely too quick.
I don't know. I feel like, and it could just be the guild that we're in. I just feel like we're all very bored with BT and Hyjal right now, right? And just kind of going through the motions. There's still things that people need from those dungeons, though, so maybe it is a little too quick, but I'd rather them err on the side of not losing a bunch of people who are just bored and then don't come back when the new content comes out.
I don't know. Like, I'm not super excited about Sunwell either. Like, I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm really excited for the Isle of Quel'Thanas because I'm talking about gold. I've got 3 characters. I'm just going to be able to do that on every day, and the gold you get from that is quite a bit for a really short time. So I'm actually excited about that part.
I'm not, because Bob's going to make me log on daily and do my dailies, and right now I don't have to do that. And he just gets me gold and gives it to me to gamble.
Yeah. Do you gamble in game?
Oh, never. I never in real life or never in game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
It's
gamble
kind of
in real
running
life,
rampant
but in
in
game,
guilds.
it's kind of fun. But I only do the little gambles, so I never really make out real well, right? I only do like the 200 to 300 gold gambles, and then they do like 1 in 5K, and I'm like, whew.
Okay, so a few things to note. Basically, they've come out and said you're still going to have to unlock the island like you did prior, like with the dailies. But unlike the original release of Sunwell, where they slowly released bosses, I think it was 3, 2, and then 1 to get them all out. They are all going to be available at launch. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I don't think it needs to be time gated.
You don't think
to be
so?
honest. No, it would make the world first race pretty stagnant, stopping and starting every time.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. There would probably just be 3 world first races, though, wouldn't there? You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would put it a little weird. The only thing that I worry about is guilds. Like, if it was, if they did stagger it, it would have given people a lot more time to go back and do BT and stuff instead of mashing their head against the Sunwell content. That's the only thing that I could see would have been a positive for it coming out staggered. But I think it's okay that it comes out all at once. It's just, for some of the guilds, it's going to be a little rough to start with.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can still go at you can go at the pace that your guild is able to go at, right? Instead of some people rushing through the first part of the content that they put out, and then it's just repetitive, and then they put out a couple more. I don't know. I figured it would all come out at once.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought it would all come out at once. I was just curious to see. Also, we don't know how long it's going to be, and they have said that there's going to be a, like a pre-nerf part, and then they're going to do a post-nerf part at some point. So it would have really shortened the pre-nerf part for the bosses that came out later, I guess,
Yeah, give us a shot to do it on pre-nerf.
Anything else in here that we can see should be pulled out and talked about at all? Oh, the new 5-man dungeon will be out as well. There's a mount you can get in there, which is pretty cool. There's also some pretty cool pieces, like just epic pieces that drop in heroic. Unlike the other heroics, it looks like every boss drops epics instead of just the last boss.
There's also no attunement for
good
Sunwell,
point.
which is nice.
Yeah, what they said that, but what was the attunement before? Was it just rep?
I don't know that there was an attunement before.
Yeah, I don't think there was one.
I feel like if there was, it was just rep or something, and people had to do the.
And technically, there is, because obviously there's the gated event that has to actually be completed on the server, like a smaller version of AQ40 event.
Mhm.
But that's it, really.
Yeah, where the island opens up and you get the different vendors. I forget which vendors come first. I also can't remember when you're opening up the different parts of the island. I know it was based on people doing quests, doing the daily quests, but I feel like you got it done and then you had to wait till server restart on Tuesday before it actually took effect and you got the new parts of the island. I don't know if it was opened up right when you did it, because if it's opened up right when you did it, the mega servers are going to have the entire island open in 1 or 2 days, right? But if it's gated, I don't know how that's going to work. And if you could work past like each stage, because if you can't, then that'd mean you'd have to wait for each, so it'd be a few weeks before the whole island's open. So kind of curious about that, but nothing in their writing kind of says like how that's gonna work.
So you can't fly in the Isle of Quel'Danas? Is that
No,
true?
I'm pretty sure you can't.
I don't think. Yeah, no, you can't. There is a bombing quest where you get to fly, but I mean, you're on rails. It's a pretty small island. If you could fly, I don't know, kind of defeat the purpose of it.
Fair.
All right, so then the last piece of news on this is just the rating requirements for the brutal gladiator and guardian gear. So prior, it was only shoulders and weapon that required personal rating. That was 2K for shoulders, 1850 for weapons. Now they still cost honor, but it's going to require rating for boots 1700, rings 1650, and bracers 1575. How do you guys feel about the rating requirements now that we're seeing like I mean, you look at what's the lowest title you can get? I don't know, the lowest title you can get in the arena seasons, that's down in like the 1500s. So like that's like the top like 20% of people. It just feels like these ratings are out of date with us starting at 0. Like we used to start at 1500. These ratings kind of made more sense. What do you guys feel about that?
I don't know about it. An opinion. I don't arena, so I don't know.
Fair. I just
think the best system was in Mists, where there just no rating requirements. You had honor gear, conquest gear. That was it. Bosh done.
See, and I like that too. Like I think that like that titles and mounts are plenty of a reward for it. Like why gate people out of just being able, the rich get richer in this case. And if you don't start a season with, the best gear from the prior season, you're going to be hurting quite a bit. This is going to be the first season that I actually get to start with almost BIS gear on my characters moving in. It's only because I didn't buy any gear throughout the entire season. And it just seems kind of lame to start like that. And it just seems like, I don't know. I like Wrath because Wrath, you can get a lot of different armor from different PvE stuff too. So there's a lot of different ways to get your PvP pieces. But this is how it's going to go in. So we'll just have to see how it works out. And I think that's it for news, unless you guys have anything else to say on those. No, the dogs do.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's move into...
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right. So this discussion this week is an interview with MetaGoblin. First off, I want to get to know a little bit about you and your background in WoW. When did you start playing WoW proper, like the first time?
Well, I seem to remember a very long time ago, my dad had bought World of Warcraft, the game discs, and actually someone else's account from one of his friends because he wanted to play it. And then that's basically how I started playing. So basically, I started playing World of Warcraft illegally by breaking terms of service because, my dad bought someone else's account. And he didn't even play it. He's the one, like, he has a go at me a lot about playing World of Warcraft too much these days. And he's literally the one who got me into it during the vanilla days, a long time ago.
That's
Man, he started
interesting.
out on the dark side, It's really...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can't really talk because I had come from playing Ultima Online and games like this, and I basically put myself through college selling accounts and in-game stuff. So I sold Ultima Online accounts. I sold my I feel so bad saying this, but I sold my my Jedi account in Star Wars Galaxies to fund my move to Los Angeles. Oh yeah, you played Star Wars Galaxies.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very briefly. Yeah, not that much. I made a video about it once.
Actually, okay, yeah, I was one of the first Jedi. Like, I got lucky.
Oh gosh, any chance Bob gets to tell us that he was one of the first Jedis?
It only took me nine professions because I knew 5 of them from holocrons, and I actually made a fortune selling the 4 extra holocrons that I had gotten. For some reason, I was a Beastmaster or whatever, and I could kill these crazy big guys. I forget what planet it was on, but they dropped the holocrons it was 1 out of every 10 kills. It was nuts. I got so lucky in that game. But yeah, so back to the selling of accounts, I didn't even realize that was against terms of service in vanilla, and we sold our first accounts when we quit during Nax, and then ended up, the account I have now is the account that I got back. I found out that was taboo and never did it again, but yeah, we're definitely not innocent here. So that was vanilla then, right? When you first started?
Yeah, I think I got my own laptop about the Wrath of the Lich King days. That's when I started playing it much, much more. Played Cataclysm not that much, to be honest. That was when I was becoming a rebellious teenager, and too much time chasing girls, not chasing epics.
Yep. I feel you.
Not time for MMOs and girls. That's very difficult to balance.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you get your girl to play.
About BFA before I quit. I then went back to Classic, basically.
Okay, so BFA was out. That's when they announced Classic was coming, right? I think.
Yeah, I was already playing on vanilla private servers for a good 3 years before Classic actually came out, though.
Gotcha. So so you played up through BFA, but then you started playing private servers, right? So
yeah, like Nostarius and whatever they turned into, Elysium and Light's Hope Chapel, everything like that.
Okay, so then basically that, like, you were like coming back to Classic for sure, bar none, right?
Yeah.
Because like basically, I'm trying to think when. That's when it all started, when Elysium was, not Elysium, the big one was Nostarius was shut down. Basically,
Yeah.
That's what got the ball started rolling to actually get Classic made, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't remember all the details. I did make a video about it once, like a bit of a documentary about how it went from, Nostarius and how it went into Classic. While the devs got interviewed by Blizzard and taken to Blizzard campus, and they had to sign all these non-disclaimer things about what they'd been talking about there and how Classic was going to be a thing. But like Blizzard were taking too long, so then they decided, we're just going to release their core of Nostarius, and then loads of private servers popped up after that using the Nostarius core.
Yeah, why Blizzard didn't hire a couple of those guys right then and there is beyond me. But I think that they just still didn't think Classic was going to be big. I think they still believed it was a small player base. What was your favorite expansion out of them all?
Yeah, I talk about this quite a lot. It's difficult. I think I've got about 3 answers. I'm going to be awkward. I think Mr. Pandaria is the one that I played the most. Like I played from start to finish non-stop. I was mainly playing PvP. I didn't play any PvE for the whole 2 years. I want to play Cataclysm the most just because I barely played it. So it's like the most fresh for me. I think overall I kind of like Wrath the most. The only issue is I played a lot of Wrath on private servers, so it's not as fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wrath is definitely my favorite. But then Classic's my second. TBC's probably my third. But
what about Wrath makes it the one that you like the most, do you think?
Well, it's just when things become a bit more streamlined, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Classes aren't like one button for pressing one button for 3 hours, like on your raid night. Classes are more interesting and raids are way more interesting. You got your heroic modes, which are way more difficult and more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's different hard modes in Ulduar and even Sarth 3 Drakes. Like there's a lot of real cool things, and the gearing process is a lot different. Like there's a lot that I just really like about Wrath, and yeah, lots of classes viable. Everything's not like group buffs, so you're not getting stuck in the shit group, when you're raiding, which I think in TBC is the worst. It's like, I'm in this group.
If only I was always in the Shadow Priest group. Love my life.
Oh man. So okay, so do you have a preference, Alliance or Horde? Are you big into either of them?
No, not really. I think I started playing Alliance, then I play a bit Horde, and then play a bit Alliance, then a bit Horde. Like I've not really got a obsessive faction allegiance or anything. Overall, I like Alliance cities the most, and I like Horde races more. That's basically it.
Yeah, we're Alliance at the moment, but we have been
Horde from time to time, so we're definitely liking both of them.
Can't, Bob.
It's so much fun. Oh man, but so okay. Yeah. We usually have people come on that are pretty like set in what they love, but you and you and Scotty J are like, well, whatever, play whatever.
Corridor Lions. What do you think? How do you feel like private servers impacted the way that you played Classic, right? Because you had already played a lot of vanilla private servers, right? Do you think it helped you in playing Classic? Do you think it made it less exciting for you?
Yeah, I definitely can confidently say that I do no longer enjoy leveling in World of Warcraft because I've just done it so much. I'm done with it. That Warriors, that is the last time I'm ever going to do it.
Okay, so I really am I'm just not a huge like leveling guy. I like to get to like the end game, but I did enjoy the hardcore challenge. Did you ever try any of that?
Yeah, I got to 29, got really, really drunk, went into one of the night elf caves and got utterly obliterated by this mob that it would renew itself and cast heals on itself constantly. I don't know what the mob name is, but I was like, what's going on here?
This is not fair.
It's just this mob was just cheating, basically, and that was that game over.
I feel you there. I died at 35, drunk. 29, drowned, drunk.
Oh God.
Then I died at 19, wasn't drunk. Then I died at 8, wasn't drunk, was just rushing. And then I finally was like, all right, slow and steady. If I'm drunk, I'm going to fish or do, professions. And then I finally made it to 60. But yeah, drunk killed me quite a bit. And but it made leveling actually a lot more fun for me than it had really ever been. Because like I'm using the vendors. Oh yeah, well, drinking always just made it go by faster, and a little bit more cheeky and fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good time.
All right, so all right, well let's talk about your content. Is Classic WoW the first time you've made content, or did you make content for games prior to this?
No, I've been making YouTube videos since I was 16, so about a good 10 years ago. Started making PvP guides for, it would have been the Trooper class in Star Wars: The Old Republic. And then when the pre-patch for MOP came out, that's when I transitioned to making kind of Unholy Death Knight PvP guides and PvP montages, which were started off pretty terrible. Like I started making PvP guides while I was still a clicker, if you can believe that.
Oh, wow, nice.
So that was quite embarrassing. But by the end of MOP, I was kind of like half decent.
So if we get to MOP, I shouldn't go back and watch your old PvP guides on how to start out?
Well, I did a massive deleting rampage.
Like nobody can find these ever again.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Wayback Machine would work on that.
Hopefully not.
I mean, they were at least on your bars, right? You didn't have to like open your spell book and click, right?
Well, no, it wasn't that bad.
There were people that were that bad. I had a friend that didn't know you could hold down the right mouse button and look around. So for the first like 18 levels, he was just looking at the ground as he keyboard turned and walked around and clicked things. I'm not kidding. Yeah. It was also the same guy that then learned that, but then finally learned that he hadn't trained since the starting area, and he was level 40. He was a priest. He was just using all the same spells he got from the starting area from when they actually told him to trade.
Listen, back in the day, nobody really knew how to play.
Yeah.
All right. So, what sets your content apart from others? Like, you do lots of people just kind of do just guides, really, but you do things like top 10 meme specs and exploits. And my personal favorite was the one where you did pop culture references in WoW, because like there were ones that I did not know. I knew a lot of them, but like the Kroll glaive inside molten core under the lava, like I know Kroll because I grew up on it. Yeah, but like those are really cool.
Film, Almost the first time I watched that was 4:00 in the morning. It's just been like because I was just on TV, and I was like, I didn't want to go to bed because I was just, got the spins after a night out. So it was at that point I put anything on that was on.
No, man,
That was classical.
I grew up on that, like movies like that, because my dad was real big into all the sci-fi fantasy stuff, and so I remember seeing that when I was little. But yeah, what sets your content apart?
Well, I mean, like, I guess with that video, it gave me an excuse to talk to something other than World of Warcraft for once. I think that's the only thing, I guess, that would make my content a bit different to other people's, is I do actually try to talk about something else other than World of Warcraft for a change. Because I have been doing it for like, a good 10 years. I even got to a point when I've been doing YouTube for 2-3 years, I actually transitioned into making videos about Skyrim and Oblivion, like modding videos and review videos on Elder Scrolls games, just because I got so bored of making WoW videos. But now, I'm not going to do that again. But yeah, I always try to talk about something else. Like, so occasionally I'm going to make a video not about World of Warcraft. It won't get any views, barely, but I'll do it anyway, just because I need to break the, what would you call it? The grind of just making WoW videos, all the time.
Yeah, doing the WoW stuff, like, you guys do God's work, because I mean, I do a show once a week, and you guys are doing all these different video, everything. Like, it's a lot of work. Like, what I do is just talk about what's going on in World of Warcraft, and you guys do the actual work. So definitely appreciate it. But like, does that bother you that like the YouTube algorithm like just basically cuts your videos out, like that aren't, that don't actually pertain to your channel?
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. It reminds me a little bit about what Stay Safe was talking about in a stream the other day, about how MMO players, they generally just normally only play WoW, and that's it. Whereas and if you're a World of Warcraft streamer, you stream anything other than WoW. Like when he streams his Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge, he actually loses followers. But if he was an FPS streamer, like he could stream a bit of Fortnite one night, a bit of Call of Duty the other night, a bit of PUBG the other night, and people wouldn't really bat an eyelid. People wouldn't be that bothered. But like the World of Warcraft audience, they really stick to their own guns. They're just in their own little bubble. Like, oh, this video is not World of Warcraft. Unsubscribe.
Yeah, that is weird, right?
A bit annoying.
Yeah, because you would think that like they might be into other stuff, but MMO players usually stick to like the one game. That is a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, most like YouTubers who've transitioned to making, they started off making WoW videos or making a video about another MMO, they transition to making videos about all MMOs, and that's pretty much all you can do. Like if I start making videos about non-MMO games tomorrow, like I'll probably kill my channel pretty quickly in the space of about a month, I would say.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, well, you also stream. So
yeah, sometimes. I try to fit it in if I can. I never like being called a streamer though, to be honest. Like I never really see myself as that. I only really stream because the YouTube comment section is pretty terrible. It's just full of
it's horrible.
People who are either just thick as shit or just really, really horrible. And then there'd be like there'd be one comment from my friend Nick. That'd be the only positive one in the entire video. Keep me going.
Just focus on Nick's comments.
Yeah, I just read his, and that's the main reason I stream. So I actually have a way to engage with the community because I'm not looking at that comment section a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
It's hard. Yeah, it is really hard. And then you like, with me, I'll have a couple bevs. It's late night, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna reply to some YouTube comments, and I'm like, I shouldn't have replied to YouTube comments.
Yeah, bad idea.
Yeah, I get a little cheeky, but yeah, YouTube comments are horrible. Like we have the vast, like I've talked about this before. We have the vast amount of people that are our audience are on the audio side. And they're so nice, like they're so kind. They send in all kinds of nice stuff. And then our YouTube, which is really small, like we get just hate comments. Like it's such a different crowd that consumes YouTube comment as opposed to podcast listeners. And I think podcast listeners are just older.
YouTube it also makes it very easy to comment on a specific video, right? Like podcast listeners have to go in and make a, rating and review, right? It's not as easy as a just
True.
like, I'm watching this video and I'm going to type my thoughts about what you're saying right now because you're stupid. I'm sure we'd have a lot more if there was an interactive chat in our podcast episodes. Let's be
Maybe,
honest.
yeah. If you could like on iTunes or something, leave comments per video. But people love that though.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I think people in general that are like yelling at their, car radio as they're driving to work, listening to the podcast, because I know they do. Oh, you're wrong.
We also catch them when they're doing something else, so it's not as easy for them to go in and comment, right? You're driving. You shouldn't be typing and driving.
True. I bet some people do though. We get some emails that are pretty interesting. But so
how long does a typical video take for you to make?
Yeah, good call.
It's always impossible to answer that question. Some videos you can get out really quickly and like require about 3 hours work, and then others require 48 hours of work. At that point, you're literally spending about 3 hours per minute of editing.
Yeah. Whew. That's rough.
Is like everything you do self-taught?
Yeah, I don't have an editor, I don't have a Photoshop artist. I just kind of watched videos on YouTube, taught myself. It's just a total one-man band, and I'm always going to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's your favorite type of videos to make about WoW? Like, I know you like making the other types of content as well, but is there a specific like type of video you like to make?
I think I like making them all fairly equally, to be honest. Unless I've like found something like this week or next week, I'm working on like a quest prep guide for Wrath of Lich King, so you can like turn in loads of quests when Wrath launches and get ahead of everyone. And I've got quite a lot of like info that I don't think people are really thinking about. I'm kind of like really excited to make that video because I think I'll be making a video about stuff that people will be like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I feel like you're ahead of the game there.
Yeah, rather than just making, let's be honest, a video that some other YouTuber has probably already made, or is it going to make? If you get a video out first, they're going to make it the day after.
Yeah, that's pretty much the name.
Should make another one about RFD, because that really hasn't gotten very much traction on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh man! So, what's like a typical stream consist of? I am fine that I don't really like to stream unless I'm drinking. Honestly, if I'm being honest.
Well, I do have my boozy streams, but I'm on a good streak at the minute. Like I was drinking last night actually. That's the first time in a good month. I do have my boozy streams. They can be quite crazy sometimes. I remember one time I was just so shit faced. I think all I had was the webcam on, and I was just dancing in my own. And Stay Safe comes into my chat, and I look at him in the chat, and I'm like, "That's not Stay Safe. Fuck off. That's an imposter." And just carried on dancing, but it was actually him. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I remember one time checking out your stream, and it was you and Scotty J, and you were trying to do Dead Mines, you guys were just like drinking and like I don't even think did you get to the first boss? I don't even remember. Like,
I remember I was even playing the game. I remember going home with half my hair on my head.
Oh no! Tell us that story.
Oh man.
I think we're talking about Peaky Blinders, and then we decided that why don't we get Peaky Blinder haircuts right now? And then Scott went and got his clippers. He started doing it, and I was like, "You're not doing a good job here." So I started doing it, but I didn't realize I'd way too far up with the razors.
Oh, the Peaky fucking Blinders! Love that show.
Man.
I had to be skinhead for a good few months.
See the bad influence, Scotty?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it got to a point where I had to actually unfollow him and not follow his streams because every time I saw his face, I wanted to get copiously drunk. Yeah, yeah. I
He
didn't
came
even
on.
used to like alcohol that much before I met him, to be honest.
He came onto our show, and Bob goes, "I'm gonna go get a drink," and he was like, "Oh, well, I wasn't gonna drink. I was gonna quit, but I'll quit tomorrow. Okay, I'll go get a drink." They really twisted his arm.
Well, he's got the bar right
yeah.
there, right next to his like streaming setup. He's got a pretty cool setup.
My old GM is in the chat. He just brought up another good point. Sometimes I do get guests on stream. My mum's been on stream, my stepdad, my sister, loads of characters you probably wouldn't expect.
Oh, we actually have a question in chat from Viscount. Why do you think there's such a prolific amount of British YouTubers making WoW content? I mean, it's
Because
because
they have really cool accents.
Huh?
Does that mean a lot of them or not a lot?
A lot.
A lot, I think.
I honestly don't watch a lot of YouTube, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, because I spend so much time making videos and, my life just is, YouTube content. Like, when I actually go to YouTube, I don't want to watch World of Warcraft videos, to be honest. I only even creator I really watch is Scott, to be fair, and a few others. I didn't realize there were many Britbongs, to be honest.
Well,
there's a lot.
Well, the British, EU as a whole is just better than NA as far as PvE content goes, right? Am I right on that? I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. As far as world first and everything else.
I don't know. I thought it was fairly mixed.
Yeah, see, I always thought it was skewed to the EU side.
Well, I mean, like on the world first big boys on retail, I'm pretty sure that's an American guild. It's not limited.
Oh yeah, retail, but we're talking about classic here.
Yeah, I don't really follow like all the the high min-maxing guild world first kind of thing that much. I will stream the world first launch, the world first race when it does come out, but I will be bringing on someone to co-commentate with me so I can just sit there and get drunk, and they basically carry the stream.
That's the way to do it.
Smart. Did you know Scotty J before you guys, or did you guys meet through content creating?
No. He asked me to come on his podcast a good year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
Even before TBC got announced.
Yeah,
nice.
Because he was starting a podcast up with Itzy, I think it was back then, and then he just didn't keep it going. And he's got the new podcast now, Dalaran Sewers with Rugs, but I haven't seen a new, I went on his episode 1, but I haven't seen a new episode in 2 weeks, so I'm hoping that's still in the works and still a go.
Yeah, I think they just had to change who they're bringing on or something.
Yeah, dude. Getting guests.
Been delayed a little bit.
Yeah, getting guests and getting all the times worked out is the hardest part of this show, but it's so worth it. Okay, so do you only stream Classic? Do you stream dance streams? You've told us that, but besides dancing and Classic, is there anything else? Sometimes
I do like to stream like a different game at the end of the night. I had this phase where I would stream like some like old nostalgia games from my childhood at the end of the stream for a couple hours, like the old Harry Potter games, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, things like that, The Witcher.
Yeah, I never played anything but The Witcher 3. Witcher 2 and 1 were too hard for me.
Yeah. What's your favorite non-MMO game? Do you have one?
That's difficult. It's probably going to be... Yeah, it's probably going to be Oblivion. It's a close call between Oblivion, The Witcher 1 and Witcher 3. Witcher 1 is terrible when it comes to the actual gameplay, but when it comes to like story and atmosphere, there's no contender. And I love Oblivion for mainly just how the RPG systems work in Oblivion. I think that's perfectly how you make an RPG, like the leveling and skill making and everything like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved duping, in Oblivion, where you could just like dupe an item and just 1,000 of them would go out and almost break my Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that back in the day.
So are you excited about Sky Oblivion then, or have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that.
I've
We'll
been
make
watching
videos
that
about
too.
that when it comes out.
Yeah, I am excited for that. I've been watching them go, but I'm just like, oh, they need to go faster.
Yeah, I should be able to get early access to that because I've talked to the lead dev. I've made my presence known. And he says, yeah, like because they give it out to creators, like early releases. I should be able to get that and stream
Nice.
it.
Oh, dude, I should reach out. Oh, I'd love to do that. I lost my train of thought. You got me all excited about Sky Oblivion. Anybody listening that doesn't know what Sky Oblivion is, it's a remake of Oblivion using the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the next game.
Skyrim engine. I guess.
Skyrim. Yeah, so they're using that engine and it looks amazing. It looks better than Skyrim too. Like Skyrim with all the mods. Like it looks really good. So if you're interested in that, check out Sky Oblivion. So what are your plans for the future? Because, we don't really know what's going to happen after Wrath. Like, what are your plans for content going forward through Wrath and then after?
I think Classic definitely has an expiry date of like being able to be a Classic YouTuber. Yeah, I think when Classic is done, it just won't. There won't be enough interest in Classic for, me personally to make a living probably. So I'm going to have to either go back to work and get a proper job again, or I'm going to have to shift to making more general MMO videos, maybe make videos about Ashes of Creation or anything else that happens, anything else new that comes out. And I'd like to make a second channel, hopefully, that would be more of a general gaming channel, not an MMO channel.
Yeah, those are so hard to get started, though. General gaming, like podcasts too, like anything general like that is so hard to get off the ground. But maybe a Warcraft Arclight Rumble content channel.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe making videos about that because no one else will want to.
Yeah, right.
But it'll be a huge market. Like it'll probably be like larger than Classic and retail combined. Like Clash of Clans was a huge market. Like all these mobile games are ruining our games, our real games. So, all right. So we got a little bit of extra time. Do you want to talk about some of the things you're excited for in Wrath, or?
I'm just excited for it I'm just excited to play Death Knight. As much as I like Classic and TBC, I have not been able to play my actual main class. So I've been, class hopping quite a lot, trying new things, and I've enjoyed the classes I've played, but like nothing is just on like the level of Death Knight for me, like personally. So I'm definitely looking forward to actually playing my class.
So are you excited that we're gonna get him in pre-patch?
Yeah, definitely. I can properly prepare him for the Wrath launch because I will be trying to. Well, I won't be trying to go for Realm first, Death Knight, but I'll try and get in like top 5.
Nice.
Yeah, do you think
What's your favorite class outside of Death Knight, like that you've played in Classic? You said you liked playing the warrior, leveling up, but
yeah, I definitely say it's the warrior now. I think the class I enjoyed the most in Classic was probably the hunter. But not really in raids, more like leveling. I weirdly enjoyed. I think I've weirdly enjoyed the new classes more than the original classes. I've played a lot of Demon Hunter and Monk back when I used to play retail.
Yeah, I quit like mid Kata, so I never even got to play Monk or Demon Hunter. But Monk sounds like it'd be up my alley. Does Monk What's the resource that Monk uses? Is it energy?
Yeah, energy and oh god, I think depending on what spec, you've got different ones. I think
Oh,
there's
really?
chi as well. Yeah, it's a bit like a Death Knight, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, yeah, because Death Knights, don't they have 2 resources? Now I'm
Yeah, so it's
remembering.
runes and runic power.
Yeah, I forgot about
The
that.
rune system has changed like so much since Wrath. In Wrath, yeah, you have runic power and runes, but then like your runes will, whenever you use a rune, they will definitely instantly start regenerating. Whereas they changed that in either Cataclysm or Mob, where only 3 different types of runes can regenerate at once. And then eventually they just change it to the point where there's no specific type of runes. There's no Frost, Blood, or Unholy runes now. It's just all either Unholy runes or Frost runes or Blood runes, depending on what spec you play.
Nice. All right, well,
I don't know much about Death Knight. I don't know, like, what is it that makes Death Knight the most fun for you? Like, why do you like Death Knight so much?
It's like playing an Affliction Warlock, but you don't have to wear a dress and cast spells, basically.
Fair.
Because it's a very pet focused and dot focused class. Well, if you play in Holy anyway, which is the best spec and only spec that people should play. Because yeah, it is a lot about snapshotting dots and snapshotting your gargoyle, and there's just loads of like little min max tricks you can do. It's not just a class where you just spam buttons and that's it. There's always like
maybe for
more nifty things you can do to it.
maybe for people that don't know what snapshotting is, maybe do a quick explanation of that.
Yeah, so like when you apply a dot, the reason why it's called snapshotting is, you know, imagine it takes a picture of your character sheet when you apply the dot. So whatever strength you have, that will influence the damage of that dot. But then you can exploit that just with like a trinket proc. For instance, you've got a trinket that increases your strength by 500 for 20 seconds. When that proc is about to fall off 1 second before, you can put your dots up again, but then it will trick the dots into thinking, oh, well, we've been buffed by this increased damage, and then we'll continue to do the buff damage for the duration of the dot. So you can gain, like, say your dot lasts 20 seconds, you can get 40 seconds of buffed dots rather than just for 20 seconds.
And the difference between snapshotting and rolling dots would be if rolling is allowed, it would mean when you reapplied the dot, it would still keep that snapshotted dot, correct? Like that's what.
Yeah.
But we don't know if Wrath's going to.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, we don't know yet if Wrath's going to allow that, but some private servers have. There's been a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, they definitely eventually got Festering Strike and Cataclysm as well, where it was an ability that increased the duration of your dots. So you'd put your big dots up, refresh them before a Trinket proc goes off, but then you would keep that dot going for even longer with Festering Strike. So you got like that buff dot. I don't know if you could keep it going infinitely, but I think you can keep like a buff dot going for over like a good minute.
Crazy.
But they used to be able to do it in patch 3.2, where the glyph of pestilence would just refresh. It would refresh your dots like it does now, but also keep the buff damage going and going and going and rolling over. But they removed that in patch 3.3. So I know a Death Knights can't do it, but I think other classes potentially could.
Yeah, we got Viscount in chat asking if there's going to be any content creator privilege in your guild. And I don't know about you, but I see a lot of. Go ahead.
I get the opposite of content creator privilege.
Same.
To be honest.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of content creators besides like maybe a Stay Safe or S fan that, you know, Aspen Gold that get like fed stuff. Most of us don't get fed anything, and actually people kind of look down on us being the content creator in the group, you know?
Yeah. I mean, my GM's also playing Unholy Death Knight, so yeah, I don't think I'm being trouble.
You're not getting any prio there?
Yeah.
Most likely not.
Content creator privilege does not exist.
I can't hear you.
Me?
But it might just be my sound.
Can you hear me? MetaGoblin?
I can, yeah, sorry.
I'll fix it.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be you, maybe. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we start closing this up? Anything? We're about to.
Don't drink and play WoW.
I do
Don't
not.
drink in hardcore challenge.
Yeah, that okay. I'll definitely be on board for that. All right. So, do we have an add-on of the week? Do you have any add-ons that you really like?
My favorite one is I think it's called Spell Checked or Spell. In fact, let me look very quickly. It's basically a spell checking add-on in game in your chat box. It's an absolute godsend because I'm always spelling things wrong. We wouldn't expect it being an English literature graduate, but I'm always spelling things wrong.
Boy, I need that.
When you said
dude.
that, I was thinking of like spells that you're casting, like checking.
That was what I was
spells that you're
thinking, too.
casting, and then it's like legit, just like a word spell check.
Dude, I actually need that. Like, that would help me out a ton. I've read it.
It's called misspelled.
Misspelled. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because I'm all the time like sometimes I'll just type it into Google, then I'll go back and type it in because I'm just like, I don't know if this doesn't look right. And sometimes I just don't care to. Huh?
Just act like it was a typo, you know.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna start winding down. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to send us something longer form, you can send your emails to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to interact with the hosts of this show or any other Mash Those Buttons show, you can join the Discord by going to mash.gg/Discord. How can you help the podcast? The best way is to tell people about the podcast. Tell your friends, tell your guild. It gets the word out. And if you really want to help the podcast, you guys will all reach out to Yip and tell him he must come back because we're gonna miss him. And Sunwell is coming out, and we're gonna, the raid updates of our trials and tribulations just will not be the same without Yip giving that story. So reach out to him and tell him to come back. All right, Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mel Overwatch, or you can find me in game on Mel Arena.
Awesome. And MetaGoblin, where can we find you? All the places.
It's just MetaGoblin on YouTube, MetaGoblin1 on Twitch.
Somebody else
You'll
get
find that
MetaGoblin
on Twitch.
Somebody stole your name?
Oh yeah. I don't know why. I just haven't been bothered to try and get my name, to be honest.
Dirty bastards. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me streaming time to time and definitely streaming our raids. And that's twitch.tv/BlazinBob. It's also where we do the show here. So definitely come and check us out. And thank you guys. Thank you, MetaGoblin, for coming on. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yeah, no problem.